evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this month's edition of Métis Coffee Talk. My name is Keith Henry. I'm the president of the BC Métis Federation, coming to you for this Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. Our first show for the new year. It seems kind of like it's a bit too late to talk about it as if it's the new year still, but here we are, our first Métis Coffee Talk to give you news, stories and insights, information about the BC Métis Federation and all that's going on, of course, with us, across the province of British Columbia. Now, I just really appreciate you joining me here today for this special show, of course. Well, I always say they're special, but there's a couple just important pieces of information I'll share with everyone tonight. Some upcoming opportunities to just engage with some of the meetings and that, and just share a little bit of insight about thoughts around what's happening with some of the other Métis issues across the nation, and of course things that are coming up here in February. So yeah, I just want to say welcome again to everyone, and I hope you had a great Christmas and holiday season, and I hope the new year is starting well. This in light of the fact that it seems like politics in North America right now are kind of a little bit crazy with our own federal politics and debates about leadership with the Liberals and other parties. And of course, that we see the U.S. politics unfolding, which is potentially going to affect us. And we, as much as it's a bit of an odd time, it's certainly what I worry about is how will those tariffs, should they come to light here on the 1st of February, how will they affect us and our business community? And we're often forgot about Indigenous people generally, particularly Métis people, when the economy has other challenges. So I hope I can plant a seed with all of you tonight that it will affect us, and we shouldn't minimize what that might look like. So just before I get into that, though, a couple quick items to share off at the beginning here. Again, remind you that we have our you can subscribe to follow us on Coffee Talk. The shows get the recordings get placed there. Certainly when we load a new show, so if you want to watch past shows, you can go on our Métis Coffee Talk YouTube channel, and you can see right there the address is at BC Métis, and of course there's other videos and so forth loaded there as well. So certainly, encourage you to think about that. And as well, we've actually now got Métis Coffee Talk on Spotify. So if you weren't able to watch it live, many of us use Spotify, including myself. I started following it today. Make sure you get on Spotify and follow us. And it'd be great to have, in this way, if you miss it here live on our, our Facebook channel. Not all of our members are on Facebook. So you can let your family, your community, your friends know that they can listen to it on a recording on Spotify, the audio version, of course. As well, you can go again on YouTube and watch it on the video, particularly the video version there. But having said that, the show is about culture. And unfortunately tonight, I don't have my good friend, Renee Therian, who's was our former vice president, and he's a board member, of course, that everyone will know well. So I thought what I would do, though, despite the fact of not having Renee here, we do have ways to show Renee. And so what I'm going to bring up for us tonight is a video about Renee Therian. I've shown a couple of these before, but this was during the Christmas party up in Terrace, British Columbia in December. And we got a couple extra clips of it. And so I'm going to start off the show this evening with some Métis culture with our fiddle player Renee Therian, and of course his band Mike, Sean, and Ray Forget, who's in the back, who is playing the drums there. So let's open up with one of Renee's fiddle tunes from this December, just sharing some Métis culture. Yeah, that was just one of the clips from Renee and of course the band playing that night on the Christmas tune or the Christmas event, and there was kids and family there. Sorry about the camera angles. It was that was me on the video there trying to get some live footage. As well, though, maybe I'll share with you one more. That was one of the faster songs that then most of us would recognize that particular song. But I'm going to bring up another one for us, another song is one where Renee plucks the fiddle. So thanks, Renee. I know he's not with us live tonight. The support he has just wasn't there tonight, so wasn't able to technical support. So rather than chance it, we are going to show those couple of his recording clips. I do want to talk though. There was we had a great event this past weekend. Many of you that are watching tonight, some of you, I'm certain would have been at our event that are hosted by our conservation department. It was called Beyond, I guess, the Beyond the Blue, and it was from ocean depths to from ocean depths to conservation heights, the insightful Beyond the Blue Conservation Conference. It was an amazing time. It was all about, again, teaching and helping our members and partners share, good environmental conservation, whether it's terrestrial or on the land or on the water. And so we had a number of really, I thought, impressive presenters. We had Councillor Guerin from the Musqueam First Nation, whose territory we were on, who invited us there. We made sure there was complete support from local First Nations as in respecting protocol. But this past weekend on the 18th, that was on Saturday. We had a great crowd. There was over 100 people in attendance. And I'll share with you some of the highlights, I guess, just on this particular topic. But I just want to start by saying I just really thank our team and the work they did, because I felt that in terms of what I think a lot of people would have felt or would have seen was just like an important conversation about how do we need to take care of planet. So this is a picture of Councillor Guerin, of course, with our MC, and it was Kevin. Everyone knows that's my brother. He did and he did a great job. I was really proud of him. I thought he did a good job, and that's one of the photos from the event itself, and just a couple others. I thought it was just gonna be able to move forward automatically, but it's not. So I will just pull up another one. Pardon me, it's not clicking over the way I thought it was going to. I guess just to give you a sense of the size and scope of the room, this is an example of one of those photos where, just one the pictures of the tables and that. This was the trade area where we had some merchants and we had people sharing information, information kiosks, and it was, it was quite, I really felt the event was, there was a really good spirit, a really good amount of energy around people just wanting to learn about conservation. And what I really noticed this time, particularly more so I think than I've ever noticed before, was so many young people. I really felt like the audience was exceptionally young, and it's young Métis people, a lot of young of our members really trying to learn and trying to work together. This was the entire list of panel and speakers we had throughout the day, each representing different organizations. And I won't list them all off in the sense of time, but I thank all these individuals. A few of them were First Nation, others were just environmental or water, champions, if you will, within their organizations, teaching us about, the importance of conservation. And, one of the great exhibits was from Oceanwise. They created this sea dome display, and it's the first time I had actually seen that. I didn't know what to expect. And you go inside the dome, and it was just really an amazing information booth for individuals to learn about on the land and again, water life and how ecosystems work. And so it was really an important piece of education. And again, this gives you just the size of the breadth and scope of the delegates we had there. And I just want to thank again all the people that were attending that made this possible. This was a huge success. Congratulations to Zia and the team. Angel Fisher, our director of conservation, Zia is the conservation manager, and everyone else that contributed to the success of the event. And I also want to thank the leadership of the Federation that we had several of our leaders that took the weekend out just to attend, to show support for the event and really make it special in their own way for themselves and to learn a lot about what's going on. So yeah, I just want to say congratulations again to absolutely everyone that participated in that event. So I'm going to move on to our next topic, which will bring us to, some of you may have seen this week as well, on our website note and our email update to members. Our community researchers spent time with a visit to the BC Museum. And I don't know if everyone has a full sense of that, but the Royal BC Museum in Victoria, it really does have a tremendous amount of information about and archives about the history of the Pacific Northwest, or British Columbia. And so our research team has been continuing that work with through these important resource databases. And so, I want to thank our Director of Research, Joe Desjardins. We had a number of representatives there that were spending time just sharing information, learning how to use the archives, just researching communities and families and stories and information about the Métis evolution, if you will, of the Pacific Northwest. And, if you went on our website, you would have seen, obviously, a little bit more information about this. And, I think that what I would like to say to everyone is that as we develop this information and we continue to build the Métis in BC platform, I think this is a really important piece of the work that we need to do as Métis in British Columbia. We said it through, and it was interesting listening to the conservation conference this weekend and the parallels of, you can't fix the environment or whether it's water or terrestrial without understanding what it was before. So you learn from the past. Well, it's the same with our history and our genealogies. All of us have a story, have a history. And, in this information, we saw a lot of this manifesting there, and so I acknowledge the team that was there, keep up the good work. And I know Joe himself said many thanks to the Royal BC Museum for ensuring a successful visit, and to the Archdiocese of Vancouver for their support. Our focus is grounded in local communities. The basic idea is that research is really about relationships and kinship networks. We're empowering and equipping local Métis people and communities to do their own research on their own behalf. And that is the truth. We have Métis members here from British Columbia that are like myself. We don't call citizens in this organization. I know that's a term that, we hear out there throughout British Columbia. But I know how important research is because I've been sharing more of my own personal story, and I know some of you have followed that along, and some have not. But what we continue to work is, what is those Métis kinship? Where did our families reside? And I just put on the screen for you just a little bit of information about my own family, right? So these are the Saskatchewan, this is the river lots. My family, this is historical mapping as an example of the work we're doing in the Pacific Northwest. And in this case, this was families of where I know where our family came from, near Batoche, just a few kilometers south of Batoche on the South Saskatchewan River, which was Fish Creek, or Turon Coulee as it's become known. So what makes me proud is when I looked at these maps and I researched, and I only share this on this research piece because I think it's important for us to know where our ancestors were. Where was our land? Where did they reside? And in my case, I see Maurice Henry right here. He had lot 38 from 1882 to 1903. These were the river lots that our Métis families developed. And why did they develop them along narrow river lots? Because it gave them access to water. It was better for agriculture. It was better for certain ways to create a sustainable food source for the families. And so that was where my great grandfather had his river lot. And as you can see, the Canadian Northern Railway, that is what created the conflict in that area when as the railway was being established and built. You can see why Métis got removed from their lands. It was right alongside where these corridors were along the river, and that was because where the transportation lines were drawn up when the Canadian railway system was being built. So I just say that again in the research. What I continue to learn is this information, right? So there's you can see other Henrys there. Those are all my uncles. These are all our family, right? So Jerome was Maurice's brother. You might have seen Norbert local above. It's really hard to see this really dark line. Pierre, that was another one of his brothers. They all lived in a certain area. So anyways, I just share this with all of you to say that, knowing your history, knowing where you come from, very important. And I thank our research team for the work they've done to continue building that awareness and that support. So, there's a lot of things we have ahead of us. On that note, though, because it's research, I thought it would be nice just to show, again, a lot of people don't know much about the history of Batoche, and I've been sharing a little bit more about it. So I think what I'm going to do, just for tonight, is show you a little video that I did like that the Métis Nation Saskatchewan did with, I guess, if you will, with the story of Batoche and pardon me, and I guess a little bit about the history of the Métis in Saskatchewan, and it's back to Batoche days. So, for something a little different, I thought I would share this video as part of your learning, because that's where my family comes from. Back to Batoche days has been happening since about, it seems to be we seem to talk a lot about today in society about the Red River, but Batoche is in Saskatchewan, not the Red River, and it's a major calling area for a lot of people. And I just want to share a little story I thought would be interesting to show you today, a little bit, one video anyways, about the Batoche, the back to Batoche days, pardon me. So just give me a quick second. I'm going to pull it up on here for you. That is, if I can find the darn thing now. I thought I had it all queued up and ready to go, but it's not working very well for me right now. I don't know if this is going to work at all. If I can't, that we won't worry about it. But what I do want to make sure is I just feel like it's such a nice thing to share with everyone. I would love to. I think I'm just gonna, let's see, maybe this will work this time. Let's see this. Yeah, no, I'm having a hard time locating that video now. Of course, I apologize to everyone for saying that. I probably should have been a little bit more organized, but that's just the way it goes. So I'm gonna actually wait a sec. I might have found it now, so I'm sorry that I'm stammering so much. But there's a little bit of a clip, and I've got it now, and I'll bring it up on the screen just to share with you, because I know a lot of us have been there, and I thought this was from this last summer. It happens every year, and I just thought we'd just bring it up. It's July of every year. It's been happening for about since the early 1970s. So you can do the math. So over 50 years that's been a gathering place for Métis people across Canada. Enjoy.
Before we start, we got to remember the fallen, that we will, lest we forget. We'll never forget, and we always have to remember
these people that you see here on this stage and that you see in front of you here have put into reestablishing relationships with key stakeholders like the federal government, like the provincial government, like municipal governments, are being paid off in dividends.
I would like to have a standing ovation for our veterans, our elders, the RCMP, and the City Police. Would we all please stand and give them a good hand, please?
Tosh is a place where we gather to celebrate our great culture, and we want to gather together and celebrate our food and our dance and our families.
The Métis Nation come before you today to celebrate our Métis Nation, our Michif language, our culture, and our distinction as we work together as a Métis Nation. We give thanks for our great leaders, past and present, and we give thanks for guiding our Métis government.
So that was, that video was really quite, I know that at times I have different politics with different Métis organizations, but I do want to commend the Métis Nation Saskatchewan for that video, because I really felt it hit the mark in terms of getting a sense of the pride and the fun of course, Métis Days in Saskatchewan, and I really do acknowledge that. When they showed the ending closing ceremonies, it's always a procession to the graveyard, the Catholic graveyard, specifically the Saint Antoine de Padoue in Métis. And I have relatives buried there, and I've talked a bit about this on past shows, about sharing a bit of my story and just helping people understand why I do what I do. So the thing that I continue to say, that when it comes to all of these Métis celebrations, there's time when it's celebration, there's times when it's commemoration, right? And I just encourage us all to really never forget our past, honor and honor the families with the direct descendants in a way that really helps us reclaim those stories in a good way, right? And that's the only thing that I get concerned about. There's all this rush to being Métis, and there's all sorts of communities laying claim to these stories, and I don't know that that's appropriate. And I don't mean no disrespect to the people. I think there's many different Métis communities. I don't think there's one. I think there's one Métis nation. I agree with that, but I think there's many Métis communities, like the Pacific Northwest community here, and the Métis people that originated from here aren't quite the same as what we were in Saskatchewan. And I'm talking even within Saskatchewan, our family around Batoche spoke very strong French Michif language. The Northern Métis spoke more of a Cree, and and that was okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So I think us recognizing and allowing that space for diversity is really important as we grow. So anyways, I just share that in terms of culture and history, and I thought it was really appropriate given all the other work that our research team is doing, and I can't wait to see the other research we come to learn about that. So moving on, I want to get us moving. I'm sure some of you would have, I have talked about this before. Next area I want to share with you is around the strategic plan. The Federation this last week released our new 3-year strategic plan that starts this April, April 2025 to March 31st, 2028. Again, some of you were at our annual general meeting in Vancouver Island and Victoria specifically this last September. And I want to thank our leadership and all the staff that contributed to putting together a very ambitious strategic plan. And what I want to say to everyone is, do we have all the money for this? No, we don't. But what we're doing is laying out a vision that as we build resources and as we put things together, it helps lay the foundation for members and partners to know what is our vision and where we're going. We're not just reacting to every little thing we get. No, we have an overall plan. And unless the initiatives align with what our plan is, then we're probably not going to be that interested in it, right? And I think it really sets the tone. So, it's on our website. It's gone out across our social media networks. It's certainly available for you to read. I will just encourage you to go on the website to have a look at the strategic plan, which is on the screen now. It lays out a number of key performance measures and indicators, and I just will always continue to say to people how important it is to have a strategic plan. When we talk about le temps passé, le temps qui vient, from our past for our future, and again, what I started with before, we have to understand where we come from to know where we're going, and our plans need to reflect that cultural evolution and that cultural awareness, and it's got to be based in who we were as a people. So, this plan, I feel, does that, with our vision, our mission statements, and in all the areas that we said we would work in. And again, working with First Nations, working with partners, conservation, communications, health, housing. There's so much work to do to help meet the needs of our members in British Columbia. And we feel that we're an organization that's going to represent our members in a good way. So I won't go through the details of the plan. I just hope that if you get a chance, you review the plan, you get involved with the Federation, and you continue to find a way to contribute solutions for us as we move forward. There's a couple things that I most definitely want to share. There's a couple of events coming up. Now, one of them will be an event around raising awareness. And what it is, it's a raising awareness, raising the red flags. It's free. It'll be in West Kelowna on Saturday, January 25th. It's part of the women's programming that we've been continuing to sort of build in the organization. So it's around Finding Your Voice, the Federation Women's Program, and registration's free. Now, I will continue to encourage you to look to our website on our events section. It's this Saturday, January 25th. I must confess, I don't know if the event is completely sold out yet or anything like that. But if you go on our website, the information is available there. The slide, the intro I certainly gave you gives a basic overview. But if you go to our website in the events section, you can actually have a full look at this. It's from Lisa. She was helped with an event here in the Lower Mainland a few months ago. She's a BC Society of Transition House. She's a training and development specialist with them. And if you want to register, you can register right here online, or you can email Louise Lambert at Lou Marat, Lou M-A-R-A-R-T, Lumar Art at shaw.ca. So I just want to say good luck to Louise and the team this weekend. We hope you have a great time with this. And please, it's a partnership with the Métis Association of Central Okanagan, of course, one of our partner communities. So I certainly encourage you to get involved. And if you want women looking for programming, looking for something around, help with Métis women issues, this is probably a program for you this Saturday in Kelowna, I guess, West Kelowna. So I certainly encourage you to do that. Another event that we have coming up here shortly is up in Fort Nelson. It is the ribbon skirt, sorry, I better get this right. The ribbon skirt or ribbon shirt sewing workshop. So it's both for men and women. It'll be two sessions. Session 1 will be on Friday, January 31st, 1 till 4 or 5 till 8. So there's 2 time slots there. And session 2 on Saturday, February 1st. So one's Friday, one's Saturday. And the times are a little different. On Saturday, it's 10 till 1 or 2 till 5. This is again on our events section on our website. You can just click on this. It's Fort St. John, it's not Fort Nelson, Fort St. John. My apologies for that, everyone. Registration, if you're interested in attending either the ribbon skirt or ribbon shirt, you have to email peaceregionmetesca@gmail.com. So there's what we have on our website is an email address plus a phone number. So you can, I know is Jocelyn and the crew up at the Peace Region Métis Community Association, another one of our partner communities. So Peace Region Métis ca@gmail.com or call 778-576-1230. And of course there'll be some information there. And I guess you have to register by the 29th so you can see on the poster itself. So I know we're a proud sponsor of that event, and we're happy to have of course our partners at Peace Region Métis Community Association delivering this. So yeah, get involved and love to see you there. I'm going to take a quick break. Why don't we go back to some music, just as we've been talking about culture here, thinking, we probably need another music. So let's go back to one of the videos from our friend Renee Therian. Let's see if we can bring one of his other songs up on the screen for you and just take a moment to enjoy some Métis fiddle music. again, thanks to Renee, Mike, Ray, and of course Sean. They don't know they're on the show tonight, but I'm glad I had these recordings. And thanks to Anna, Renee's wife, who I think was the one that recorded this. It was either her or Jeannie, director of Métis language. Either way, it wasn't me getting up, walking around, videoing them right up close. But yeah, just really enjoyed the music with Renee, and thank you, Renee, for always being there for us, sharing your culture in such a great way. I just want to bring us back to some events coming up as well. We've got a few more things, and one that is coming up, and I talked earlier just about the importance of sharing culture, and I just want to say that I'll be out at the Nova Métis Heritage Association on February 9th, and so I'm just going to bring it up on the screen for us here, and I apologize because I don't have it handy. And we were working on a updated poster to help support the look of the event. So we'll be sharing it soon enough with the Federation here very shortly. But just I'm going to put up on the screen here now. I welcome any of you to come out. I know you have to register again. Pardon me. Oh, I don't think that worked well. Let me just see if go back here. Sorry, my apologies. I'm all over the map here. Apologize. Just give me a second. I'll share it properly. That didn't work. Let's try that again. Sorry, everyone. I feel like it's New Year. I've lost my my ability to share things carefully. The Nova Métis Heritage Association, another one of our partner communities. I will be doing a presentation. We'll be doing from 1 till 4:30, so about a 2.5 to 3 hour time slot with everyone. We're going to talk about Louis Riel and the reconciling of the history of the Northwest Resistance. Now, anyone in the Lower Mainland, I certainly hope you want to come out. There's only room for 50 people, so we know it'll fill up. But it'll be at the Surrey Nature Center Hall it's Sunday, February 9th, so it's a few weeks away. I strongly encourage everyone watching tonight, if you're interested, to just it's called a campfire gathering hosted by our friends at Nova Métis Heritage. So thank you to their president, Harlan Coles, and of course the board, Carrie, and everyone else. It'll be just helping us understand what was the Northwest Resistance and as it relates to some of us that are actual direct descendants of that event. So it's each year on November 16th, we commemorate the wrongful execution of Louis Riel in 1885. Most Canadians, however, don't know the truth about what happened in 1885 or its enduring legacy. Myself, as the BC Métis Federation president, will present an overview of what actually happened in Batoche and a personal perspective on its intergenerational impacts. So, it's going to be a bit of a heavy conversation, but I really hope people come out. I know there's many of our Métis community in the Surrey area that have deep connections to Batoche and back in Saskatchewan roots. So, come on out. Or even if you're not from the community and you just want to learn, we welcome you. So, but again, you must RSVP, you must register campfire@novamétis.ca. So send your email, campfire@novamétis.ca. You cannot just show up. I've been to the events before, and I know it's hard for people when they get turned away because they're full. And so I would just encourage you, please register, and it's free, of course. And there's food and beverages and whatnot. There's some snacks and drinks, and there'll be some door prizes. And of course, I think they do a fundraiser of 50-50 for the community. So yeah, I hope people come out, and I'm looking forward to spending time with many of you, sharing that story and a bit of my personal journey as a professional and as a young person growing up in Prince Albert and struggling with just admitting being Métis and the rest of it. I think it's a story that many of us probably can relate to. So I hope you come out again Sunday, February 9th, 1 till 4:30. Look forward to seeing you there. And thanks, President Coles from Nova Métis Heritage Association for putting this together. So just wanted to add that to tonight's lineup, if you will. So a couple other things that I just want to talk about before we sort of wind up tonight. And oh, pardon me, I gotta stop sharing. A couple other things that I was just going to bring to, I guess, people's attention, if nothing else. We have In February, we're doing our next iteration of our conservation department. So we're having a smaller conference called Our Planet, Our Future Conservation Conference. I know most of you will be somewhat aware of this particular conference, but in case you're not, I just wanted to share with you just a reminder about our information about it if it's your first time. It's at the Oak Bay Beach Hotel in Victoria on February 8th. So it's only a few weeks away. So literally, I'll be going from this event, getting up early in the morning, going out to the ferry, and coming back to the event for Nova. So let's knock on wood. Let's hope there's no major windstorms. But certainly, I really am looking forward to seeing many of you again at Our Planet, Our Future Conservation Conference. It's the next sort of iteration of our last conference we just finished that I spoke about from this past weekend on the 18th. If you look on our website, of course, I'll bring us to the website. The event is listed there if you want to get a bit more details around this conservation conference. Again, this space is limited, and they fill up every time. So that's why I keep saying to people, I know some of you may think I'm making this up, but we absolutely fill out every one of these forums now. And so, Our Future, Our Planet Conservation Conference, if you are interested to be a vendor registration, like we've got speakers lined up already, but if you're interested in a vendor, make sure you get a form in. If you want to attend, you have to do the registration as an attendee, and I don't even know if there's any spaces left because it was almost completely full earlier today. So make sure if you're thinking about it, you must register ASAP. And for some delegates, depending on your qualifications when you apply, there may be some financial support, but again, that's just on a case-by-case basis. So please get your registration in. You can click on the link. It'll take you to the registration itself. But I know it's almost already filled out. It's been posted the last month. So just a final reminder, this is it's a bit of a smaller conference. This is a more facilitated direct conversation about some conservation work we need to do. And so, we invite you to come out as members and partners to learn a little bit more about the work we're doing. And that'll be in Victoria on February 8th. So, that's some important information. One of the last topics I did want to talk about, though, tonight, I'm sure that many of you are following, and I don't want to get too far into this because I think, it's one of those things where, it's hard for me to understand how, I guess, some of our people can't see the dysfunction of some of the other Métis organizations. And I'm not trying to be ruthless or mean, but I was one of the people years ago that really touched on this in different organizations. I did not like what I saw with the Métis National Council. I did not like what I saw with certain leadership. It's not that I don't like the institutions. I don't like the leadership. And this ongoing situation now, it's in the media. It was in this last week. I'm sure many of us saw it. There's this, the Métis National Council has lost 3 of its 5 governing members. We're not involved with that, the Federation. But to watch it the way it's unfolding, it's just frustrating to me as a Métis person. Although I'm not connected to it, it does reflect on all of us, and I don't like what I see. So some of you will always think that that's the preferred course of action, is to be part of that. I've always maintained that the only time you should be part of something is if it's actually in your best interest. And I don't think it's in anyone's best interest today, because it's in a big fighting over money. They're fighting over $15 million from a few years ago, and this is their president. And I know Victoria from years ago. I wouldn't call her a friend, but I would say I respect her, and I hope that things are okay for them. And I'll just bring up her, and then I want to show David Chartrand and what his commentary was. So anyways, I just think it's relevant for us to pay attention, and this is why we need good governance. This is another reason why the Federation formed on its own about 15 years ago now, because we didn't like governance like this, and this is not good for us. So I hope they can find their way through it, but I think the story speaks for itself.
Métis National Council President Victoria Pruden, thank you for speaking with us today. I want to first ask you about this multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Clem Chartier, David Chartrand, and Wanda Watine. Can you explain why the MNC wanted to take these matters to court and what some of the allegations are?
Okay, thank you so much, Savannah, for allowing me the opportunity to join you and for us to explore some of these questions together this afternoon. So I'm just going to set a bit of context here. The Métis National Council, its former president, Cassidy Caron, and the Board of Governors of the Métis National Council during 2021 and 2022 had conducted a review of finances and of operations. When they conducted their review in 2021 and then reviewed again in 2022, they found a number of decisions that they took issue with. And those decisions were serious enough to the leaders of the day that they decided to pursue a litigation. And so that's underpinning what's happening today. We know that the litigation started here in Toronto on January 13th. And underpinning that reason to pursue litigation is quite simply good governance, transparency, accountability, and ensuring that whichever leaders we have within the Métis Nation make choices, actions, and follow through with good ethics, upholding fiduciary responsibility, and always keeping the best interests of the Métis Nation at heart. And I do need to say, I want to acknowledge that this is not an easy decision. This is not an easy process. And for me, coming in as a new president at the Métis National Council, I want to acknowledge and honor that, some of the individuals involved in this trial are amazing leaders who've done a lot for the Métis Nation. And I want to be very clear in reinforcing that.
And MMF President David Chartrand, who's named in this case, spoke with us earlier this week, denying any wrongdoing and all the allegations against him. What's your reaction to what he had to say?
I'm going to be just very simple in the response. In the litigation, there are a number of pieces of evidence that just point to decisions, transactions, choices that the Board of Governors of the day and former President Cassidy Caron had identified as problematic. That evidence will be explored at trial, and the court will make a ruling. And I want to make sure that I'm upholding Justice Merritt's instructions. So I'm not going to get into any specifics. The evidence will be presented. The judge will review and consider the arguments and presentations and witness testimony of witnesses, and then we'll have a decision. And then we can deal with that decision, whatever it may be, and move forward.
And switching gears, President Pruden, with the Métis Nation British Columbia, the Métis Nation Saskatchewan, and the Manitoba Métis Federation all choosing to walk away from the MNC, can you explain what will be the next steps here, and will the Métis Nations ever unite again with the MNC?
I think I'm just going to pick up on that last question. We're in a period where I think unity and unification is not possible at this particular moment in time. We have a lot of difficult issues to work through. Governments are making the best decisions I think they want to make in the support of their people, and with self-government and with the negotiation of treaties, we're in a different place than we ever have been in before. The Métis National Council itself, having been in existence for 41 years, looks different. To my knowledge, the mandate, the purpose, the role is not the same as it was, of course, during its establishment 41 years ago. It was established for a particular purpose when Métis.
I'm going to just stop that there.
Was still, we had not
Sorry.
made nearly the kind of progress and recognition that we have today. Thank you to all of those past leaders that contributed to that. my mandate, stepping into a pared down MNC environment.
I'll just close that off there. It was kind of a bit choppy. I hope it wasn't too bad for you watching online right now. But the point is, Victoria is talking about, of course, as the president. And I find it interesting because Victoria herself is from Victoria, British Columbia, or she was. And as we know, the case is, and MNBC doesn't support the Métis National Council, which I don't know the politics behind that, but it's interesting. And what is at stake continues to be now this day of all fought. There's millions of dollars at stake. And, David Chartrand was also on APTN, and his commentary was really straightforward, and he sees there's no issue here. And I'll just play a couple minutes of this as well.
David, thank you so much for speaking with us. What is your reaction to the Métis National Council taking you and former MNC President Clem Chartier to court? This court case has been in the works for a number of years now.
Well, in fact, it's a political attempt to damage my reputation, of course, the Manitoba Federation's reputation, and Clement Chartier's reputation. So, it clearly was and has been designed. They call it, it's a scheme, they call it the scorched earth policy, that my goal was to destroy the Métis National Council, which I fought vigorously for, everybody knows in this country, and supported and brought so much resources, financial resources, to both MNC and to all of us across the homeland. But now they call it a scheme that I was trying to destroy them, to make them MMF stronger or bigger than them, which MMF has always been the biggest government. By far, MNC has been a little small entity of a government versus the MMF. So, but they made up some scheme, and now they're trying to put the picture together to make it look like I did all these bad things versus all the great things I did on behalf of the Métis in this country. So it's sad. I'm very saddened by it, because it's going to cost us millions of dollars on either side. To date, they've already paid us $270,000 legal fees. So imagine that. They paid us that amount. Their fees are the same or more. So they spend at least over $700,000 to date on legal fees.
I'll just stop running that up. It seemed to be having some technical delays here. What I'll say of this is that as I watch this unfold, I just think it's, I've been involved watching the Métis movement for a lot of years, and I just think I just wish this stuff wasn't happening at a time when like, our political differences aside amongst organizations, make no mistake about it, we don't know how politics are going to change on the eve of potentially a new government, different policies, different interests. And I think that this is not, hopefully these organizations can find their way in a more constructive way. I found it a bit rich to listen to David's minimizing of the Métis National Council. I've sat in a room and listened to him and, preach about how important that organization was when he was fighting against equitable sort of voting at that table for British Columbia at the time when I was there, and when I was watching in Saskatchewan. So I just find it a bit rich to listen to some of that. You can have your own opinion. I have mine. My opinion is that the MNC does not really serve a lot of purpose other than somehow funneling money to the Métis Nation governing members, which I believe is completely inappropriate. But that aside, let's just hope that common sense prevails. People find a way to work together, and it doesn't stain other Métis interests in the country. And I just hope that that's what happens. What David doesn't seem to realize is his advocacy for only the Red River Métis has really limited many other Métis in the country, and given this perception of, for those that don't understand the history and diversity of Métis communities, a platform to just sort of minimize and why they don't need the support. So I've been one saying the Métis National Council has been defunct well before any of these current issues, a long time before that. So having said that, I just, despite my personal disagreement with the way they do business, I just hope that somewhere along the line, common sense prevails, and what's in the best interest of Métis people is done in a healthy way, in a good way. Because they're all going to waste. If you caught the clip, I know the audio was kind of, wasn't great. It was unstable. It was too much data, I guess. But fighting each other, spending millions of dollars in court for 9 weeks is what's happening right now in Toronto. They're unfolding in for a major court process, and it's going to be a lot of money to go to trial for 9 weeks. on both the Métis National Council side and the MMF. And you can't use government money, so where's that money coming from? Like, ECDEV or however they raised it. And I just don't know, I'll be very curious to see the outcome, and I'll be very curious to see what the courts decide. Was there wrongdoing by David Chartrand and Clem Chartier and Wenda Watney, all three who I knew really well back in the day. So yeah, I'll be very, very curious to say that. Now, let's finish with one more Métis fiddle. Let's go back to something a little more fun and a little less controversial. And then we'll got one last item to talk about, and then we'll call it a show, okay? So here's Renee again, Renee Therian and his band, Up in Terrace. Again, thanks very much, Renee and band. We really sincerely appreciate your cultural sharing of the music, bringing us back to some positive energy versus talking about some of those other unfortunate challenges. One last thing to talk about, I'll put on the screen for you here shortly. I want to remind everyone we've got we've updated our job board. We have employment opportunities. We just continue to assist our Métis members and partners looking for work, as well as assisting contractors who are seeking employees, so both from an employer side and employee side. Make sure businesses, if you have job openings, send your information to jobs@bcmétis.com. And you can have it listed on our job board, and of course our Métis members know that also jobs@bcmétis.com helps you find some great employment opportunities. So always a reminder about that, and thank you to our team for continuing to update that information for members and of course employers on a regular basis. So with that, it's been an interesting show. Sorry, I think I had some delays here with the Wi-Fi for some reason when I showed the videos. But I just want to say thank you for joining me for this week, for this month, of Métis Coffee Talk. I know that it's always a challenge when we're trying to think of all the things that have to be done and information we have to share. And I just continue to hope that people recognize that we're doing our best to provide you events and information and opportunities to be a part of the Federation and actually just enjoy, researching and understanding what being Métis means, not only with people like myself from a contemporary where I came from, and my roots are around Batoche and Saskatchewan, to your roots, many of you watching tonight that are from other Métis communities, including here in the Pacific Northwest. So, we know there's different communities, and hopefully the Federation will continue to give you an opportunity for you to build that awareness and really celebrate who you are and enjoy all those things. So with that, I want to say thank you for joining me for this version of Métis Coffee Talk. My name's Keith Henry. I'm the president of the BC Métis Federation. I look forward to seeing you next month for updates and information, and we'll see you next time. Share the show. Go make sure you look on our social YouTube and Spotify, and you can listen again and share with your friends and family. Keep them up to date on this information. Take care. Bye now.